When you play a role-playing game, you expect to be following a story that will ultimately end with the death of the bad guy, whoever that may be. You expect that as you progress, you will get stronger, and this strength will overpower the enemy and triumph in the end. So why will you not die, Lorm the Fool? Quit mocking me. Your taunts are rubbish and creepy. What kind of name is that anyway? Forget about that. Let's go back for a minute. My target of vengeance was created in the Nemsis system, a hierarchy of randomly generated villains that you can manipulate in various ways. The definition of a system is a group of interacting elements or component parts that form a complex whole. The Nemsis system will be classed as a complex system, a more advanced version of a periodic system, because it uses similar patterns but are more dynamic in relationship between objects. According to the Rules of Play by Katie Sallon and Eric Zimmerman, there are 4 main system elements: objects, attributes, environment, and relationships. These elements create and interact with the social structure of AI, making and affecting the hierarchy of power and influence. At the top of the hierarchy are the most influential, not necessarily the most powerful, but certainly they are difficult to battle. Here you can see a war chief with a lower power level than his bodyguard. Orcs battle all the time, even when the protagonist, Talion, is not involved. It's during these power struggles that you can influence this hierarchy. You can make people fight and become rivals, changing their relationship with each other, or you can indirectly influence orcs via actions you take in battles. The most interesting thing about this system is that the behaviour and relationships change depending on each of the 4 elements previously stated. Behaviours are defined as the potential actions that an object might perform in a given state. This system is made more complex than a single set of rules by adding other conditions to help create unique enemies. As Tracy Fullerton says, more potential behaviours tends to add choice and lessen the predictability of outcome in a game. This gives the enemy much more room to react to the player. One such unique enemy is Lorm the Fool. As our relationship start, I didn't know much about who I would be matched with. It all started when I was in a crowd, being my fierce self and not letting anyone control me, when he caught my attention.
All I need for a promotion is your pretty dead face.
He could have been anyone. He could have been a warrior, a hunter, a defender, but the random generation of names, appearances and personalities made him what you see today. No 2 orcs will be the same, and no other player will face him. Lorm is just a derpy berserker with a penchant for creepy pet names and patronising taunts. Like these.
Ranger! Couldn't stay away, could you, man thing? I think you've acquired a taste for my company. Hey! Oh, my sweet, you keep returning to me. You're so loyal. Now die for me again.
It was only 1 defeat. I was having a bad day, alright? And to make things worse, he had followers. Lots of them. Because when orcs kill the player or survive an encounter, they gain power. And with more power, he gets more skills and becomes way more overconfident than he should be. These make him more annoying and harder to kill. Ultimately, jumping in headfirst was not the best idea when there was a horde to back him up. But then, how could I resist the chance to assassinate him when he keeps on taunting me?
If you will keep dying, I'll just have to keep having fun.
It isn't even just the one-time taunting me. One of the most interesting mechanics of the system is that AI will remember anything and everything that happened in previous encounters. Whether you made a good impression or not, they will remember.
Deathwalker! You're pathetic! Why not just lie down and die? Ranger! Well. The escape artist. Don't think you'll get away this time.
AI behaviours will change because of it. A humiliated orc that fled in the previous battle will try to save face by ambushing you when you're fighting someone else or when you're on low health. In the case of Lorm, he eventually found it boring because, well, he kept beating me.
Congratulations! You managed to make murder into monotony.
At that point I thought, maybe it's best I get to know this guy, find out his likes and dislikes. As any other interest, finding out their traits is the best way to learn their strengths and weaknesses. Orc traits act as optional hidden information which you will learn either through trial and error in battle or by asking other orcs. Traits are both the attributes of the orc and object rules. Each orc will have their own set of rules, giving them their own personality. These rules develop over time and are affected by what the player does, learning and adapting as the game goes on. One orc had developed a fear of burning, which I would have loved to exploit if he weren't so scared about getting too close to fire. And this orc was quite easy to beat before he escaped to live another day, leading to my overconfident underestimation of his abilities when I met him again. As the saying goes, what doesn't kill us makes us stronger, and apparently it's not just the player that follows this philosophy. As orcs get stronger, new traits are added, making them immune to previous fighting styles. This doesn't happen only when orcs survive. Oh no, guess what? When an orc was dead, sometimes they come back. It's an unfair feeling when, after the satisfaction of defeating your longtime enemy, Lorm the Fool, he appears once again in a skirmish when you're low on health. The Nemsis system allows any and every enemy to have a chance to appear once again, even after you've killed them. Not only will they likely be seeking revenge, just like the player would be with their own deaths, but you can often see the battle scars they were given when they died. Death by fire show burn scars, death by sword can show previous slashes they obtained in battle, and if they were injured so bad, sometimes they won't even show their face. To summarise, the Nemsis system plays on behaviours and emotions of the player to engage them within the game. Anything that the player does will affect these relationships, and the evidence that these happened can be reflected on attributes. The system was developed so that the AI behaviour will react to the player in a way that emotionally engages them, so that the player can respond. The system then builds these characters around the player action in order to create a connection between AI and player to get the most challenge and fun out of the game. And in the end, I did get my revenge.
No! You catch me! I've seen that before! So much blood, my sweet, pretty blood.